background checks for all gun sales, a ban on high-capacity magazines, and 4. An end to legal immunity for gun manufacturers. A group of 7 asylum seekers, including children who have been forced to wait in Mexico while their immigration applications were being processed in the United States under a controversial former President Trump policy, have been granted a preliminary injunction allowing them to reunite with loved ones already living in America and safely pursue their asylum cases there. The American Civil Liberties Union, which represented the group in court, has welcomed the injunction as a victory against the Trump-era policy that immigration and human rights group have warned has put already vulnerable asylum seekers at risk. Under the Trump administration's migrant protection protocols, tens of thousands of asylum seekers, including thousands of children, have been forced to wait in Mexico while the applications are weighed in America. The Biden administration has sought to reverse the program, but has warned that doing so will take time as the Department of Homeland Security begins allowing access for thousands of asylum seekers with active claims. And Myanmar's military has warned anti-coup protesters across the country that they could face up to 20 years in prison if they obstruct the armed forces. The military said long sentences and fines will also apply to those found to incite hatred or contempt towards the coup leaders. The legal changes were announced as armored vehicles appeared on the streets of several cities. Hundreds of thousands of people have taken part in protests in recent days. The demonstrators are demanding the release from detention of the elected leaders, including Aung San Suu Kyi, and the restoration of democracy in Myanmar, also known as Burma. And Japan's economy surged in the fourth quarter of 2020, but it was not enough to keep the country from negative growth for the year. The country beat expectations to grow by 3% between October and December compared to the same period in 2019. But growth was considerably slower than in the previous quarters when the economy expanded 5.3%. Japan's economy shrunk 4.8% over the full year, its first contraction since 2009. The growth figures come as Japan's Nikkei index briefly hit 30,000 for the first time since 1990. And the chief executive of Australian casino group Crown Resorts has quit amid a scandal over money laundering allegations within its casinos. Ken Barton's departure follows that of several other company directors. Last week, an inquiry found Crown was not fit to hold a gaming license in New South Wales, meaning it cannot operate its newly built casino in Sydney. The report has also thrown doubt over Crown's casinos in other cities. Crown, which is majority owned by Australian billionaire James Packer, has been dogged by allegations of illegal activities for years at its casinos in Melbourne and Perth. And that's KUFM's news around the world. But before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. Sudan's former vice president arrested over bread protests. United States President calls for gun law reform on anniversary of Parkland shooting. And Japan's economy shrinks by 4.8% in 2020 due to COVID. Do you remember that the continued unity of Nigeria is a collective responsibility? Be sure to play your part. Do not forget you can listen to us anywhere in the world by visiting our website at www.kufm.net or download our mobile app from the Google Play Store. We are also on YouTube at KUFM Nigeria. KUFM's News Around the World was produced by Nusahai Uwadiai. I am Omoyog Baide, saying thanks for listening.